What if one of the people helping shape the future of artificial intelligence suddenly walked away and started warning the world that we might not be ready for what's coming? Not a science fiction author, not a YouTuber looking for clicks, not someone who has spent years criticizing AI from the outside. A former OpenAI researcher, someone who had a front row seat to one of the world's most influential AI companies. His name is Daniel Kokotajlo, and over the past few years, he has become one of the most recognizable voices in the growing debate over AI safety. His message is simple, but deeply unsettling. He believes artificial intelligence could become far more powerful than most people realize, much sooner than many expect. And unless governments, companies, and researchers change course, he argues that humanity could lose control of systems that are smarter than us. These are his predictions, not established facts, and many researchers disagree with both his timeline and his assessment of the risks. But because of his background, his warnings have received significant attention inside the AI community. So who exactly is Daniel Kokotajlo, and why are so many people listening? To answer that question, we first need to understand the unusual path that brought him to OpenAI. Long before ChatGPT became a household name, artificial intelligence was already advancing at an incredible pace. Researchers were making breakthroughs almost every year. Neural networks were becoming larger, computers were becoming more powerful, companies were investing billions of dollars into machine learning. Most people barely noticed. To the average person, AI was something that recommended movies, translated languages, or helped filter spam emails. But inside research labs, many scientists believed something much bigger was beginning. Daniel Kokotajlo became interested in one question above almost every other. What happens if humans eventually build an intelligence greater than themselves? Not just software that answers questions, not just a chatbot, but a system capable of outperforming humans across nearly every intellectual task. Economists call this artificial general intelligence, often shortened to AGI. Exactly what counts as AGI is still debated, and different researchers define it in different ways. But broadly speaking, it refers to AI systems that can perform a wide range of tasks at or above human capability. If such systems are eventually developed, the impact could be enormous. Some researchers believe AGI could accelerate scientific discovery, cure diseases faster, improve education, and dramatically increase productivity. Others worry that creating systems more capable than humans introduces entirely new risks that society has never faced before. Daniel Kokotajlo belongs to the second group. Before joining OpenAI, he spent years studying long-term AI scenarios and thinking about how governments and companies might prepare for them. His work focused less on building AI itself and more on understanding where AI development might lead. Eventually, that interest led him to OpenAI. At the time, OpenAI had a very different public image than it does today. The organization had been founded with an ambitious mission. Its stated goal was to ensure that advanced artificial intelligence would benefit all of humanity. Rather than treating AI purely as a commercial product, the organization emphasized safety, research, and long-term thinking. That mission attracted researchers from around the world, people who weren't just interested in making AI more powerful, but also making sure it remained safe. Daniel Kokotajlo became one of those people. Inside OpenAI, he worked on questions that most people never think about. How do you test systems that may eventually become more capable than humans? How do you know whether an advanced AI is behaving honestly? How can researchers verify that increasingly powerful models remain aligned with human intentions? These questions don't usually make headlines. They're not as exciting as new chatbots or image generators, but to many AI safety researchers, They are some of the most important questions in the entire field. As AI capabilities improved, excitement spread across Silicon Valley. Every major technology company wanted to lead the next generation of AI. Google accelerated its research, Microsoft invested billions, Meta expanded its own AI efforts. Startups appeared almost overnight. The competition became intense. Then everything changed. In late 2022, ChatGPT launched. Within weeks, millions of people were using AI in ways they had never imagined. Students, programmers, businesses, teachers, writers, the public suddenly realized that AI was progressing much faster than expected. Companies rushed to respond. Investors poured money into AI startups. Governments began paying closer attention. Artificial intelligence transformed from a niche research field into one of the most important technological races in modern history. For OpenAI, this success was historic. But according to Kokotajlo's public account, it also created new pressures. He has described feeling that the environment increasingly emphasized moving quickly in a highly competitive landscape. From his perspective, the race to develop more capable AI systems became more central over time. OpenAI has not characterized its work in the same way. The company has repeatedly stated publicly that it invests heavily in AI safety, preparedness, and responsible deployment alongside capability research. This difference in perspective is important because much of the current debate about AI isn't about whether safety matters. Nearly everyone agrees that it does. The disagreement is about whether current efforts are sufficient. Some researchers argue the industry is moving too quickly. Others believe slowing development too much could delay major medical, scientific, and economic benefits. Still, others worry that if one country deliberately slows down while another continues advancing, it could create geopolitical risks. These are difficult questions, and there are no universally accepted answers. Inside this debate, Daniel Kokotajlo's voice became increasingly prominent, not because he claimed to know the future with certainty, but because he argued that the consequences of being wrong could be extraordinarily large. Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff. One group says there's almost certainly solid ground ahead. Another says there might be a hidden drop. Even if nobody knows for sure, many people would agree it's worth slowing down long enough to check. That in many ways reflects Kokotajlo's broader argument. He believes society should invest much more effort into understanding advanced AI before building increasingly capable systems. Whether one agrees with him or not, his perspective raises an important question. How much caution is appropriate when developing a technology that could reshape economies, governments, warfare, medicine, education, and nearly every industry on Earth? This isn't simply a technical debate, it's also an economic one. AI has become one of the largest investment themes in the world. Companies are spending hundreds of billions of dollars building data centers. Governments view AI leadership as strategically important. Startups are raising enormous amounts of capital. Competition is accelerating. And when competition accelerates, incentives change. Imagine two companies racing toward the same goal. If one company pauses for several years to improve safety while the other continues advancing, the second company may gain a major competitive advantage. That creates pressure to move faster, pressure to release products sooner, pressure to avoid falling behind. Many observers, not only Kokotajlo, have noted this tension between competition and caution. The difficult question is how to balance innovation with responsibility. History offers examples on both sides. Some technologies advanced too slowly because society became overly cautious. Others advanced rapidly before their risks were fully understood. Finding the right balance has never been easy. For Daniel Kokotajlo, this balance eventually became a central concern. His worries grew strong enough that he decided to leave OpenAI. But leaving the company was only the beginning, because after walking away from one of the world's most influential AI organizations, he began speaking publicly. And some of what he revealed sparked conversations across the technology industry about corporate culture, competition, transparency, and the future of artificial intelligence. His warnings would soon become part of one of the biggest debates in modern technology, a debate that is still unfolding today. Walking away from one of the world's most influential AI companies was never going to be a quiet decision. By the time Daniel Kokotajlo left OpenAI, artificial intelligence had become one of the fastest moving industries on the planet. Every month seemed to bring another breakthrough. Models became smarter, computers became more powerful, investment poured into AI at an unprecedented pace. Companies weren't simply competing to build better software anymore. Many believed they were competing to build one of the most transformative technologies in human history. And when the prize is that large, competition changes everything. For decades, Silicon Valley celebrated one simple philosophy: move fast, build first, improve later. That mindset created some of the biggest companies in the world. But Kokotajlo argues that artificial intelligence is different. According to his public interviews and writings, he became increasingly concerned that the incentives driving the AI industry were pushing companies to prioritize speed over long-term caution. It's important to note that this reflects his perspective. Companies like OpenAI have consistently said that safety research remains a core part of their work and that advanced AI should be developed responsibly. The disagreement isn't whether safety matters, it's about whether current safeguards can keep pace with rapidly improving AI capabilities. Imagine two teams running a race. The finish line isn't a trophy. It's artificial general intelligence. Whoever gets there first could gain enormous economic influence, scientific leadership, and strategic advantages. Now imagine you're one of the runners. You notice a bridge ahead looks unstable. Do you stop and inspect it, or do you keep running? Because if you slow down, someone else may cross first. That, in many ways, is the dilemma Kokotajlo believes the AI industry faces. He has argued that every major company has powerful incentives to continue accelerating development. If OpenAI slows down, Google might move ahead. If Google slows down, another company might catch up. If American companies slow down, some worry that competitors in other countries could gain an advantage. Whether or not someone agrees with this framing, it highlights why the conversation has become so complicated. It's no longer only about technology, it's also about economics, national security, competition, and global influence. Artificial intelligence is increasingly viewed by governments as a strategic technology. Countries are investing billions. Companies are hiring thousands of engineers. Chip manufacturers are racing to increase production. Entire data centers are being built specifically for AI workloads. In many ways, it resembles the early days of the space race. Except this race isn't about reaching the moon, it's about reaching superhuman intelligence first. Kokotajlo has described feeling that these competitive pressures became increasingly difficult to ignore. He worried that once companies believed they were close to a major breakthrough, slowing down would become almost impossible. Even if individual researchers wanted additional safety testing, the fear of falling behind could outweigh caution. This idea isn't unique to AI. History contains many examples where competition encouraged organizations to move faster than they otherwise might have. Sometimes that acceleration produced remarkable innovation. Other times, it introduced risks that only became obvious later. One of Kokotajlo's concerns is that artificial intelligence may be another example where society has limited experience dealing with technology that evolves this quickly. And unlike previous technologies, advanced AI could influence almost every sector simultaneously: healthcare, finance, transportation, education, defense, scientific research, manufacturing, entertainment, software development. The list keeps growing. Every new capability makes AI more useful. But it also raises new questions. Who should control these systems? How should they be tested? Who decides when they're safe enough to release? Those questions don't have simple answers. After leaving OpenAI, Kokotajlo became more willing to discuss these concerns publicly. One issue that attracted widespread attention involved the agreements employees were asked to sign when leaving the company. Even among leading AI researchers, there is significant disagreement. Some believe artificial general intelligence could arrive within this decade. Others think it may take many decades. Some aren't convinced it will ever develop in the form people imagine today. Nobody knows for certain. And that's exactly why the debate has become so important, because if the optimistic forecasts are correct, society needs time to prepare. If the cautious forecasts are correct, we may have more time than people think. Either way, decisions made today could influence the future for decades. As AI systems continue improving, the conversation is shifting. People are no longer asking only whether AI can perform specific tasks. They're beginning to ask, what happens if AI becomes capable of performing almost every intellectual task? Would economies change? Would education change? Would governments change? Would work itself change? These questions were once mostly discussed inside research papers and academic conferences. Now they're entering mainstream conversation. And Kokotajlo has become one of the people pushing those conversations into public view. Whether his predictions ultimately prove accurate or not, they have forced many people to think more seriously about where artificial intelligence might be heading. Because once a technology becomes powerful enough to reshape society, waiting until after it arrives may be too late to decide how it should be governed. And for Kokotajlo, that concern leads directly to the question that matters most. What actually happens if humanity succeeds in building intelligence greater than its own? His answer is one of the most controversial parts of his message, and it's the reason his interviews continue to generate debate across the technology world. For most of human history, progress has been measured by one simple idea. Humans create tools. Those tools make humans more powerful. A hammer extends our physical ability. A computer extends our ability to calculate. The internet extends our ability to communicate. But artificial intelligence introduces a different possibility. For the first time, humans are building tools that may eventually be able to improve themselves, solve problems independently, and perform tasks that once required human intelligence. And this raises one of the biggest questions of the AI era. What happens when the tool becomes better than the person using it? This is the question at the center of Daniel Kokotajlo's concerns. His argument is not that today's AI systems are already conscious, unstoppable, or guaranteed to become dangerous. Instead, his concern focuses on a possible future where AI systems become dramatically more capable than current technology. A future where artificial intelligence is not just answering questions or generating images, but planning, researching, designing, programming, making decisions, and potentially operating with a level of capability that humans struggle to understand. This idea is often discussed under the concept of artificial general intelligence. But even among experts, there is no universal agreement about what AGI means, when it will happen, or whether it will develop exactly as people imagine. Some researchers believe advanced AI could arrive sooner than expected. Others believe current systems are still far from true general intelligence. Some argue that intelligence itself is much more complicated than simply making larger and more powerful models. The debate is ongoing. But one thing is clear, the possibility of highly capable AI has forced society to think about questions that previously belonged mostly to science fiction. One of Kokotajlo's biggest concerns is what happens if AI systems become extremely powerful before humanity has developed enough safeguards. To understand this concern, imagine creating a machine that can analyze information faster than any human. It can write software, conduct research, create strategies, improve its own performance. Now imagine millions of copies of this system operating across the economy. The potential benefits could be enormous. Scientists could use AI to accelerate discoveries. Doctors could use AI to improve healthcare. Engineers could solve problems that once seemed impossible. Businesses could become dramatically more productive. A more optimistic view of AI sees this as one of the greatest opportunities in human history, a tool that could help humanity overcome some of its biggest challenges. But the concern raised by Kokotajlo and other AI safety researchers is that powerful technology can create risks if developed without sufficient preparation. The question is not simply, can we build something powerful? The question is, can we reliably control something powerful? This concern is sometimes called the alignment problem. In simple terms, alignment refers to making sure advanced AI systems pursue goals that match human intentions. The challenge is that humans are not always good at explaining exactly what we want. Even simple instructions can become complicated when interpreted literally. Imagine telling an advanced AI system, make humans as happy as possible. A human understands the deeper meaning, but a machine might interpret the instruction in a completely different way if its objectives are not designed correctly. This is why AI researchers spend enormous effort studying how to make systems safe, reliable, and predictable. Supporters of AI safety research argue that preparing early is necessary because solving these problems could become much harder once systems become significantly more capable. Critics argue that current AI systems are still far from the scenarios being discussed, and that focusing too much on hypothetical future risks could distract from real problems happening today. Both sides raise important points. AI already creates practical challenges, misinformation, privacy concerns, job disruption, bias, security risks. These are not future problems. They are happening now. But Kokotajlo believes society also needs to think beyond immediate issues because technological progress can move faster than institutions. Governments often respond after technologies become widespread. Regulations are created after problems appear. Public awareness grows after consequences become visible. His concern is that with extremely advanced AI, waiting until problems become obvious might not leave enough time to respond. One of the most discussed areas connected to advanced AI is the future of work. Throughout history, automation has replaced certain tasks while creating new opportunities. The Industrial Revolution eliminated many manual jobs, but created entirely new industries. Computers automated many office tasks, but created software engineering, cybersecurity, and digital industries. AI may follow a similar pattern. But some researchers argue that AI is different because it targets cognitive work, not just physical labor. Tasks involving writing, analysis, research, customer service, programming, design, administration, in other words, jobs that were traditionally considered uniquely human. Kokotajlo has suggested that in a future with extremely advanced AI, work itself could fundamentally change. Instead of people working because they must survive, work could become something people choose for purpose, creativity, or personal satisfaction. This idea sounds attractive. A world where technology provides abundance and humans have more freedom. But reaching that future would create enormous economic challenges. If AI dramatically increases productivity, who receives the benefits? How are workers affected during the transition? How do governments adapt? Would wealth become more concentrated among the companies controlling the technology, or would societies find ways to distribute the benefits more broadly? These questions may become some of the defining economic debates of the coming decades because technology does not automatically create equality. Throughout history, major innovations have created both winners and losers. The printing press transformed society but also disrupted existing institutions. The Industrial Revolution created enormous wealth but also produced difficult working conditions before reforms were introduced. The internet created incredible opportunities but also concentrated power among a small number of technology companies. AI could follow a similar path. The technology itself is not automatically good or bad. The outcome depends on how humans develop, control, and distribute it. This brings us to another concern, raised by Kokotajlo. Power concentration. Who controls the most advanced AI systems? Today, the most powerful AI models are largely developed by a relatively small number of companies and research organizations. These organizations have access to enormous computing resources, thousands of specialized chips, massive amounts of data, some of the world's top researchers. This concentration creates a difficult question. Should the most powerful AI systems be controlled by a handful of companies, by governments, by international organizations, or should access be distributed more widely? There are arguments on all sides. Centralization could allow stronger safety controls. If only a few organizations develop advanced systems, monitoring may be easier, but too much concentration could create enormous power in the hands of a small group. Decentralization could encourage innovation and competition, but it may also make oversight more difficult. This is one reason Kokotajlo argues that AI governance needs international cooperation, because artificial intelligence does not respect national borders. A model developed in one country can affect people everywhere. A company operating in one region can influence global markets. A breakthrough in one laboratory can change the direction of an entire industry. Traditional regulation often happens country by country, but AI development is increasingly global. This creates a challenge similar to climate change or nuclear technology, problems that cannot easily be managed by one nation alone. Kokotajlo's proposed solution involves stronger international coordination. He has discussed ideas such as increased transparency, monitoring advanced AI development, and creating systems where independent organizations can verify that companies are following safety standards. Supporters of this approach argue that powerful technologies require oversight. Critics worry that excessive regulation could slow innovation or create advantages for countries that ignore restrictions. Again, the challenge is finding balance. The world wants the benefits of AI, but it also wants to avoid unnecessary risks. And this debate is happening at a moment when AI capabilities are improving rapidly. Every year, systems become better at tasks that once seemed impossible. They write more effectively. They understand more complex instructions. They generate increasingly realistic images and videos. They assist researchers. They help programmers. They analyze information. The question is not whether AI is advancing. It clearly is. The question is how quickly advancement will continue and how society should respond. This uncertainty is exactly why people like Daniel Kokotajlo believe public awareness matters. He argues that AI should not be viewed only as a product created by companies. It is a technology that could influence the direction of society itself. Whether someone agrees with his concerns or believes they are exaggerated, the underlying question remains important. How do we build powerful technologies while ensuring humans remain in control of the future? Because the biggest challenge with artificial intelligence may not be creating smarter machines. It may be creating wiser systems around them. And for Kokotajlo, that leads to the final question. If humanity wants to benefit from AI while avoiding its potential dangers, what should we actually do? The truth is, nobody knows exactly what the future of artificial intelligence will look like. Some believe AI could become humanity's greatest invention, a technology that helps us cure diseases, discover new scientific breakthroughs, solve problems once thought impossible, and unlock a new era of human progress. But others believe that creating systems more capable than ourselves could introduce challenges unlike anything humanity has faced before. And maybe the most important truth is this: the future of AI will not be decided by technology alone. It will be decided by the choices we make today, because artificial intelligence is no longer just a project happening inside research laboratories. It is becoming one of the most powerful forces shaping our world. It will influence how we work, how we create, how we discover, how we make decisions, and perhaps even how we define what it means to be human. The companies building these systems, the governments regulating them, and the researchers designing them are making decisions that could impact generations to come. The question is no longer, will AI change the world? Because it already has. The real question is, will humanity be wise enough to guide the change we are creating? Because building intelligent machines may not be the greatest challenge. The greatest challenge may be building a society prepared for them, a society that can use AI's incredible potential without losing control of the future it creates. For the first time in history, humanity is not just inventing new tools. We are creating something that may transform the way we think, work, and live. And the next chapter of this story is still being written. The future of AI is not decided yet, but the decisions we make today will decide what kind of future arrives tomorrow.